days of long ago, created by the cosmic legends of the universe. There stands one man, one great man, a man dedicated to preserving all that is good in pop culture. Loved by few, hated by many. Alone in his fortress of awesomeness, he battles fearlessly against the wolves, the evil, the unjust. To right that which is wrong, to stand for justice, to serve all mankind. He is the one, the only, the Comic Relief Crusader.
Hey guys, it's Friday, and thank God it's the end of the week. Oh my God. I made it through. I survived. Yet another breath of life on a Frantic Friday. So hence the name, hence everything else that's been going on in life. So such is my lot in life. It's not a lot, but it's a life. So welcome all to a second Frantic Friday. So, and well, yeah, for Carla, it's a Saturday morning. So, I tried. I can't bend space and time. I'll leave that to somebody else. And hello to Killer Rabbit from space. And as usual, we are simultaneously broadcasting on Rumble and on YouTube because please go to Rumble. So as for everybody else, well, let's introduce a couple of people that have dropped in today. We got everybody's favorite New Yorker, Admiral Teague.
I have taken up smoking, Captain.
You are in flavor country. Yes.
How's everybody doing? It's good to see y'all. Greetings from the Big Apple, where it's rainy and cool.
Yay!
Kind of it's honestly, I didn't mind. I'm wearing jeans for the first time in like 4 months.
Oh wow, that's
like usually it's like shorts for like until like the end of September. But we were really fortunate this summer, which usually means a terrible winter.
Oh damn! Well, that's gonna suck. And in second chair right here, we got all the way from the other side of the country, we got Froggy Brains joining us.
Why, hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? And yes, it's actually, I think we're getting your rain because it's starting to get cloudy here now. So it's coming up north. And yeah, and sorry about the train behind me. It's loud. But no.
One day a real rain is going to come.
So you're not the only one with a train in the background on occasion. And hello to James Acerta. That is also in the chat. It's 2 years from now where I'm at. Awesome, dude. Awesome. Yes, trains. We all have trains everywhere.
I have an elevated subway that runs by my window.
Really?
I'll be honest. I won't take a picture out my window to prove it because people would then be able to dox me by my proximity to the Chrysler building. But yeah, I do.
Oh, I suppose. Oh.
People already know far too much about me. The details of my life are quite unimportant.
So how's everybody's week been so far?
Good.
It's been a week. It's been a week. I believe in both standard and metric for those of our friends in New Zealand and other places that are on metric time. Happy 100th minute of the is this the 68th hour of the day? It's a good day to you all. And crikey, it's a morning show down under and in New Zealand, so we've got to embrace that. No crocodile zone, eh?
Yeah, exactly right.
And
So,
actually, on the week, if I'm going to bring a somber note up, if any of your fans are wrestling fans, we've lost Bray Wyatt last night, which was really sad. Only
I
36 years
know.
old, and that's really crushed me. They're supposed to do a dedication show on SmackDown. They're getting rid of the storylines for one night, and they're actually going to do a dedication show. It's the first they've ever actually done since like Eddie Guerrero passed. So it's like I'm going to be in tears. But anyway, yeah, that was a shock this week. I was just last night actually.
I know Triple H's biggest fan.
Yeah.
Damn. Like, I had to read it twice because I thought, oh my God, Triple H passed away. It's like, no, it's one of his biggest fans. So, damn,
Bray Wyatt was a great wrestler. He was an amazing worker. Great story too. Could have been a good horror actor too if you ever followed his character. But anyway,
totally. And sitting in on fourth, we got Pop Culture Republic joining us today.
How's it going? Going well. How are things going?
Well, so far so good. It's the end of the week. It's a Friday, and having lots of fun, or at least trying to fake it as well as I can. So
that's good.
So let's see. What do we do? What we usually do, and just have some funny news of the past week. And I might bring up something old, but whatever. It's just as funny and gets everybody laughing and the show underway. So this from LGBTI writes in Australia. Having a period is not a feminine thing. People of all genders menstruate, including non-binary and agender people, and of course, plenty of men. And there you go. There's that picture. Periods are gender specific.
Thank you for that image. You've been reading the post again. This has got to be a troll. This has got to be a troll post. It's
you really honestly think so? Come on.
Actually,
this world that we're living in?
I'm going to say this right now. And
I can't. You know what?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Foggy.
Yeah, no, for somebody from in the community and people that know and follow YouTubers that are against this leftist ideology, there's people that actually believe that, yes, trans women can, period. They rarely believe in it. It's just kind of stupid. What the hell? The clown world exists. I'm not kidding. People really believe that.
I know, right? It's like,
these people have lost all sense of reality.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm living it this way. While I feel that this is a troll post, I wouldn't bet one dime on it because of the world we live in. How's that for an answer? Context. Context.
Yeah.
Because the world is so. The Babylon Bee and the fucking New York Times have the same headline once every 3 weeks. At this point, it's going to get to the point where it's the same headline every day.
Yeah,
where fantasy meets reality.
There's a complete disconnect.
Look, there's a signpost up ahead.
There we go. Let's just say one has their block and tackle affixed. Where do you bleed out of?
You know what?
If you're bleeding out of, that specific place, I'm sorry, you're not having a period. You have testicular issues. Maybe you passed a really rough stone or something like that.
You should be seeing a doctor for that.
Yes.
Can I just say you cannot address this matter on Twitter in a way that's not going to get mocked? Because honestly, if there's something to this statement, like let's just say that this is a bomb being thrown to get our attention. Imagine somewhere out there might be someone qualified enough. It's like, hello, my name is so-and-so. I'm a medical doctor. And for the last 25 years, I've been studying circadian rhythm and human body rhythms. And I have noticed that all of us are on something of a 28-day cycle linked to the moon. I'd be like, maybe I'm listening. All right, I'm still listening. With this, I'm like, oh, fuck, come on.
Yeah. Killer Rabbit.
Who
from
said
space.
this? Is this from George Takei's?
Obviously, I have to learn about human anatomy. Yes, you do. So, and apparently, some other people do. No. This is from LGBTI Rights Australia. So on, I believe it's on Facebook.
Like I said, it's satire. They're trolling us.
Yeah.
Probably.
Unless it's just ignorance knows no geographic boundaries.
Yes, the stupid, it burns.
Uh-huh.
All I got to say about that. But if you're bleeding from there and you still have your block and tackle, It's probably your liver.
Well,
Stop
if I
drinking.
say on something, and I watched it last night, and it really just made me wonder how delusional all these people are. Because now they're saying math is racist. It's
Yes.
the thing too, and I'm like, 2 and 2 can equal 5. What? What?
Math is racist.
What?
Listen, I'm bad at math, okay? So I'm going to go with it's racist.
Oh, I'm horrible at it too.
Everything I disagree with is racist.
You know, Teague, this is the opportunity for you to use old man Picard voice and say, there are 4 lights.
That's pretty much. Well,
this is Patrick Stewart.
Oh my God.
Hello, this is Patrick Stewart. There are 1 in every 4 Americans are unaware that there are still only 4 lights. Did you see, Picard? There were only 4 lights. It was dark and murky. I couldn't tell what was going on, and there were several silver alerts issued during my my performance. My convalescence on the show, Picard. I'm not New Jack's father.
If you've heard the news, obviously math is racist, and that's been around for a while. Get a load of this. From the Inquirer, the word picnic.
Negative numbers.
The word picnic is racist? How'd you deal with
Get fucked, I don't care.
What?
Yeah. Yes, apparently. Oh, and peanut butter sandwiches are racist, and on top of that, putting them in a brown paper bag is racist.
Wait, they were invented by a black man.
Yes.
Peanut butter was invented by a black man. And that is one of the most nutritious forms of food. Man cannot live on bread alone, but bread and peanut butter, it's going to suck, but you'll live.
Exactly. You'll get protein.
Got a lot of protein. Yeah, it's really good for you. You'll take strange shits too.
That's right. That's why I have a big bag of peanuts with me right now. So
only if you're gonna eat the peanuts out of my shit.
That's right. Big giant bag of peanuts right there. So, and from the US, I do believe. And they're American-made peanuts. So there you go.
President James Earl Carter's farm produced those peanuts. That's why they're allowed to have an American flag on them. And what's more patriotic and inspiring to us as Americans than to see our flag rendered into the shape of a peanut? I was swelled with pride.
Mm-hmm. Because after all, aren't we all working for peanuts? So
what since we have to work for peanuts, and I just paid like $9 for 2 slices of pizza, I'd like to just say right now, what the fuck is going on?
That better be damn good pizza.
There's something going. Well, it was really good pizza. The thing is that's now going rate, and like a lot of stuff is kooky. Like saline solution cost 3 times what it did 3 months ago. Everything is in like this weird place. It's just it's very Twilight Zone. It's almost as though
it is.
Yeah.
So So if anybody out there likes reading comics, because occasionally, I'll touch on a lot of TV shows and movies that are going on and whatnot. But this, I don't touch a lot on comics, and I really should because I've always enjoyed comics. This kind of comic has been out for a while. Okay, now this is a comic called Robyn Hood, and it's put out by let me see, Chuck Dixon and a few others. I believe it's by Zenescape, I believe is the publisher. But essentially, it's a twist on the whole Robyn Hood character, right? And updated for the 21st century. So obviously, they made a play on the name Robyn, Robyn Hood, and of course,
wait, it's Robyn Chick.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Well, why isn't her name Felonious Fiona or something cool like that?
I don't know, because they're having fun with the whole old story mythos and stuff like that, like Robyn Hood and Merry Band of Thieves and blah blah blah.
I can see, as we were talking before, she does have that similar Scott Campbell look to her. J. Scott Campbell.
Yes.
So Yeah, like
Yeah.
Danger Girl and stuff. So I like the way she's drawn. I'm not gonna argue there. So
I might get ink on part of my body hanging out with this chick, but that's a whole different story.
same here.
I would just say this: if we look at like the closest example I could think of, Conan, Red Sonja works because even though she's under the same rules more or less than Conan and all that stuff, she's simply got another name and she's not Conan. This is like a little. If her name was like seriously, Felonious Fiona, or like what's another word for thieving? Like pickpocket Penelope. I mean, it would work. You don't have to change the whole fucking lot. She could still act like Robin Hood and do Robin Hood things. I might drop the bow and arrow. That might be like an issue 12 thing, like coming into your own. You find a powerful artifact.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want her like out of the box like that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. So apparently, this book does have a quite a bit of a fan following, and it's been doing pretty good for itself. However, in merry old Canada, we have a network up here, Global TV, and usually they syndicate these shows to also a U.S. audience on various cable outlets and whatnot. So I did see the trailer months ago, and I really didn't pay any attention to it. But yesterday, it really exploded. And it's not going to do the book any favors whatsoever. Because, well, Global TV reveals first look at woke, race-replaced Robin Hood.
Yep,
that's it. That's what you're going to get.
No,
James,
coming.
It's not a gender swap. It's a race swap.
It's everything.
And gender swap.
I just want to say right now, to those of you watching, no matter what you may see back when you look into the mirror, I see a person, a flawed one. But when I look at this, I'm just saying, this is the representation you wanted. You've got it. How do you feel about it? Let us know.
Yep. Yeah, I love the street sign that they put in there. Yeah, Sherwood Avenue and Forest Street.
By the way, you can hear the train going by my house now. If you really listen,
I did hear that. Yeah, there we go. We got trains all over the place.
Good old fashioned motherfucking subway, man.
Pop, how come you don't have a train? We need Pop to get a
I
train.
live out in the country in Texas, and there aren't any trains where I am.
No excuses.
There's like trees and forests. Critters.
Where are you from, around. Boy? How tall are you, boy?
Yeah, exactly. Does anybody walk the turnstile? I actually did. We're living in Montreal, but anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Home. Is Montreal the original home of the great William Shatner?
Yes, it is.
I think so. Yes, I live there.
My God, it's not Toronto, right? It's God bless
Montreal.
God bless it. I've been there.
It's my home away from home. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what we're going to get from Global TV. A whole race swapped character based off of a comic book that was doing pretty well. I mean, Chuck Dixon did pretty good on the comic.
Wrong. It's Felonious Felicia. It's Felonious Felicia. Oh my God.
So the company's official X account shared a brief 30-second teaser that provided a first look at the series earlier this month. They also revealed the series will be streaming on the Stack TV service. And so Stack TV is, pretty much what we have up here in Canada. So, where you can watch a whole bunch of TV shows and former TV shows and stuff like that. So this is the brief trailer right here.
I see the snake in the grass. Running for your life, here we come, baby. If they come and get you, no one gonna miss you. You hide behind them grass, harass. You a snake in the grass, all you did was harass. You a snake in the grass, all you do was harass. You a snake in the grass.
On?
What?
You better be careful with that music.
No.
Here we come, baby.
You're making a content match.
Yeah. I
Gotta be a little
probably
quicker
might,
on that.
but who
plug.
cares?
Hey
I'm just
guys,
gonna get the
are
news
we
out.
still live?
Hey, and we got 32 flavors of Nick. How's it going, dude?
How about
Nice
that?
that you could
Look
drop
who's
in.
joining us
reputation-
today.
Your
Yeah,
reputation precedes you,
we
sir.
got the
Welcome.
Weiser.
Welcome. Celebrities in the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Celebrities in the chat.
That's right.
Exactly.
Very well regarded
So,
YouTuber is here.
That's right. He's huge. He's huge. I
He's
should have
huge,
one.
absolutely.
Dude, if you want
He's
a
an
link,
incredible guy.
I can send you a link if you
Yeah,
want to
you're
jump
still
on.
live.
Okay, good enough. Thank God. Okay, so wait. Oh my
Glad
God.
somebody did
You
the
have
homework
no
on that
idea
one.
what-
Thank you.
Well, yeah. So the company's publicity account would share a poster for the series 2X as well as writing. Coming this fall on Global TV and Stack TV, supersized new reality TV and all new Canadian original drama, Robyn Hood, September 27th.
Wow. You know,
So-
this needs a byline that says
In a
coming
world
soon
where-
to CW.
Yeah.
Coming soon to the CW. Robyn
So
Hood.
now, as I
In a
showed you
world
before,
where-
Robyn Hood, nice blonde, white woman, and essentially a spin on the old Robin Hood tale, because obviously in merry old England, probably, let me think how far back that tale goes. Probably 1,000 years at least.
It goes back to
Yeah.
1300, about 1300.
Of about 1,300 years. Thank you.
Okay.
Let me think that far back.
Oh no, it goes back. It goes back to about the
primarily-
year. What I'm saying, it goes back to about the time of the sign of the Magna Carta. So the year between 12 and 1300 is when the story comes up, not
Yep.
1300 years ago. Sorry, but I get called
That's
out
okay.
all the time for being bad with dates and history, and I got schooled yesterday by Gamer 1745 who knew everything about the show patent, everything. I mean, the movie patent, everything. It was amazing.
But
was
yeah,
huge.
Killer Rabbit is calling it. Yeah, canceled after
Yeah.
4 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So- but thinking back that far, I'm pretty sure now. I could be wrong on this, but England was primarily Anglo-European white. So I can
Well,
kind of see. I can kind of see where the
well-
comic was going with that.
Well, there's definitely, to be honest with you, there is racial tension between two different groups of white people who would become the Anglo-Saxons that everyone has an issue with. There was the Anglos, whatever Saxons, and the people from people from Normandy, from France, like William the Conqueror was known as William of Normandy. Normandy, traditionally
Yep.
part of England for a long time. The area called Brittany called that for a reason, not because of a future song either.
Okay. So here's the thing, right? Now, in this day and age of how should we put it? Tensions, I suppose one could say, between let me just put this mildly. Racial tensions of what's going on and whatnot. This probably is not gonna do as well as some people might think, because the primary thing of Robin Hood was stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. Now, I can see that. That's very noble. Okay, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. However, with movements going on like let's say BLM, for example, with a lot of acquiring of properties going on in a, how should I put it, illegal sense of the word, this probably isn't going to go too well.
No.
Now, I could be totally wrong. I don't think so. But
I don't even know where they would take it. I have no
I-
idea what their plans are with this. It looks like it's set up to fail right off the bat.
Yes. You know,
Today's climate is set up to create division. Let's be honest, and for some particular reason. And I'll just give it 2 cents. You said the BLM movement. Have you ever seen the documentary by Candace Owens?
Yes, I have.
No.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. The greatest lie ever
Who
sold.
is Candace Owens?
I'm God. Who? Mike, you might be able to explain that better than me.
Yeah, Candace Owens, Black woman reporter, journalist, and she's been quite vocal about things in society, about what's going on, primarily about how how African Americans, how Black people are essentially being duped by let's say Democrat parties, say certain corporations and whatnot. She's been extremely vocal, and I think she got picked up by she was on YouTube, I do believe, but she got canceled.
The Daily Wire or one of them at the time? Or
yes, and right now she's got picked up by Daily Wire, and she has her own show.
Yeah.
So my ignorance here on this one.
It's fine.
I've been told, and my dad told me
link in the private chat.
I'll take a look.
Yeah,
before I look at that, I just want to say my father has told me never trust anyone with 2 first names. So I'm a little leery of Candace Owens.
But the documentary's really well. Was it the greatest lie ever sold about the BLM movement? And it's how they didn't give any money to the actual communities and give it elsewhere. And I won't go into it, but yeah. But the reason I brought her up is she actually had a thing yesterday how she's showing that a lot of colored communities now want their own graduation, so they want segregation again. And I'm like, why do we want segregation? We want to wipe that out. We want unity. But anyway,
and she's very to an English guy.
Separate. Like, do they want to have their own, say, club-like celebration where they just have like a graduation, like that's above and beyond the regular one, or do they want to nullify the other one? Because as far as I'm concerned, after your graduation, you can have any kind of graduation party you want. You want to hit a piñata like we did at my family. We got drunk on tequila, hit a piñata, and ate bananas. But that's my family. That's what we did.
No, she actually wants the actual. They want the actual school ones to separate them before the year's out at the end. Yeah.
I couldn't be more opposed to that bigoted step backwards in our society. We're all the same.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I don't believe that this is going to do itself any favors, because in a way, like, okay, aside from
it's gonna do
making
great
this
with the
show,
people who already would love it.
But for some odd reason,
people would already love it, but I don't think anyone else is going to want to see it.
Yeah, I don't think so either, because it's probably in such a way going to paint probably some white guy as the bad, evil, corporate, crony capitalist kind of dude, and she's going to do nothing but steal from him, right? More people on the U.S. East Coast got their wisdom tooth extracted today than are going to pay attention to this show. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So it's essentially, I think that it's going to essentially glorify stealing, not stealing for the sake of the rich basically draining the poor dry.
Yeah.
Where she just gives it back to the poor, like basically an injustice in that sense. But basically, I think it's probably going to take the route where, hey, you got tons of cash and tons of stuff and stuff like that. I'm just going to take it from you. Doesn't matter whether or not you earned it or not. And I'm just going to give it to a bunch of poor people.
Actually, I want to take it one step further.
That's where I think this is. Yes.
I'll take it one step further. It's going to be against the straight white patriarchy.
I was about to say that.
Yep.
The great white patriarchy in the form of a rich slumlord who's oppressing the tenants. And
yes.
I mean,
and I bet you they're going to be people of colored tenants and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yes.
The poor oppressed. And you've got to fight that. Then at the same time, you have to fight City Hall for trying to levy taxes.
Do I get to claim oppression here? Because I'm a Cameron Diaz-ish sort of Latino.
That's right.
Right, but I'm white.
Yeah. Carla Burton, I really want to know what they think of those. with a black parent and a white parent. Yeah, exactly. I wonder that too. 32. If you're still in the chat, I sent you a link if you want to join in. Maybe you're still here. I don't know. Hopefully you are.
So
anyway, so the article goes, the series was originally announced back in January 2022 and went into production in June 2022 with Canadian music video director X helming the series with a story from Orphan Black story coordinator Chris Roberts. Now, Orphan Black was a pretty good show as it was. Unfortunately, what's her name went to She-Hulk, and well, we know how that turned out.
Oh yeah. You know,
yeah,
you watch both shows, right? I feel bad blaming anyone who works for Disney for saying these things. They come at you and brainwash you, and they throw a fistful of money at you. So you might say dumb shit, but in her case, like, it was actually, considering the level of obnoxiousness of the show, she wasn't the main offender there. She was overshadowed by those pre-fired showrunners that they didn't run off the reservation. They let them hang around. And what did they do? They threw woke fire all over everything and tried to take Disney out with them. And if that last episode isn't a meta insult back to their boss, why did he air it? Did he think he was the bigger man? I would have been like, absolutely, fuck you. Call back the actors for a cliffhanger ending to this other thing, and we're gonna kill her in a movie with one line. One line. We're gonna say that She-Hulk is dead.
So in the original press release announcing the series, Global TV shared the official synopsis. In this modern take on the Robin Hood legend, Robin is a fearless young woman, here we go again, who is not just another superhero with abilities normal people don't have. She is a Gen Zer, driven by the injustices of today, who embraces the heroic and hopeful and playful elements of the world's most recognizable folk hero. Oh, crap. There we go. She's a Gen Zer.
Yay.
So, all the things that Gen Z believes in. There we go.
Actually, can I give my 2 cents on something here, if I may? Yes. I actually know some, we have friends with kids and stuff, and I know some Gen Zers and what have you. And you know what's funny is the way the media portrays them, they're this, but I actually know some of them, a lot of them want the old ways to go back again. They're like, no, I want to go back traditional values and families. I want to go back to the traditional marriage. I want to go back. It's like, wow, they're like, the media portrays them this way, but a lot of them actually want to go back to the way it was. So,
yeah, that's right.
History is a repeating cycle. Sociology is a repeating cycle. We're going to go from one extreme to the other over the course of time. If you live long enough, you'll see yourself become the villain. The only word of comfort I have for any of us is that because it's a pendulum, we spend most of the time mostly in the middle. So if you think that this is extreme, you know what? Take care of yourself and live another 20 years. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, well, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
There will be there will be 3 different regional United States, and I may be part of Canada where I am. And how would you like that? We would have to be the capital, though. Like New York State would have to be the capital of Canada. Fuck yeah, gonna make you the economic powerhouse of the goddamn world. You want to be Americans? Damn it! Stop our state troopers at the border.
Exactly.
Yeah, the onslaught is underway.
This gets worse by the sentence. You are 100% right.
No, the Orphan Black collect. Oh, sorry.
No, I guess they have to make Mel Brooks movie to Robin Hood, Woman in Tights. Yeah, they do.
No, wouldn't it be Woman in Pants? Right?
Yeah, that's right.
It would be Woman in Trousers because women wear slacks and pants, but not trousers.
I have to be Robin Hood.
Wouldn't it have to be? Now we've done a lot of work on this show, and you've really educated me a lot. I found out who Candace Owens is today. That was or I guess I found out that there's a person called Candace Owen today, and I guess I can only guess she's related to Clive Owen. But this is just what the hell is going on? When you saw Orphan Black, did Tatiana Maslany look anywhere near as old as she does in She-Hulk? Because it feels like every woman on Disney, they decide, let's have the camera add a good 10 years so no one feels bad about being attractive.
Yeah, makes you wonder. What were you going to say,
she looked better in Orphan Black the same year, right, Mike?
I think so. Pop, you were going to say something?
Oh yeah, no, just looking at the Orphan Black connection to this new show, it just fills me with such confidence because Orphan Black had some pretty left-leaning storylines. I don't see this show going anywhere. They're going to go hard left and probably revel in it.
Yeah.
I was not a particularly big fan of Orphan Black. I watched it all the way through just to finish it off. But yeah.
Exactly. So carrying on, it continued. He learns to fight for what's right. Now, here's a little watchword, right? Learning to fight for what's right. Well, what are they going to dictate what's right? That's the thing, okay? That's the thing to watch for, right? These little watchwords here and there. So she learns to fight for what's right, to care for and lead her followers. And like all Robin Hoods since the first ballad, Robin holds those in power to account by using their greed against them to help her community. Okay. Robin Hood follows Robin Loxley, a young woman whose masked hip-hop band, oh my God, The Hood, is known for their inventive videos and anti-authoritarian message. The synopsis relates.
Captain, I am not a merry man.
Yeah, exactly.
Fight for what's right. Who gets to decide what's right?
Exactly. That's the thing, right?
By the way, that is quixotic right there. That is just quixotic or quixotic, whichever it may be. I prefer quixotic.
I would go with the whole BC Boys motif and fight for the right to party. So
that was our prom song. That was the prom song.
There we go.
High school.
Yeah.
So she lives in Sherwood. She lives in Sherwood Towers, a cluster of rental high rises in a working class corner of the new Nottingham, a near sci-fi city where the cost of living has skyrocketed, leaving an ever-widening gap between the rich and everyone else. Yeah.
Wait, did you say a sci-fi city, or she lives outside of sci-fi city? Like that's her location in sci-fi city?
A near-fi city.
Oh,
what the heck does that even mean?
Do they have Wi-Fi there? Let's go blow up their 5G towers now.
What the heck's a near-fi city?
At least Max typo. Yeah, at least Max Headroom was innovative and said 20 minutes into the future.
I say this is a typo
for their dystopian future. It was like 20 minutes into the future.
Yeah. So
near-fi city,
like RoboCop in the near future, right? You know, like 5 years in the future or something like that. Maybe it's that. I don't know.
The F is kind of near the near-fi, as in like near future sci-fi.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Yeah.
Kiss my ass. That doesn't exist.
Yeah. Killer Rabbit. Yeah, I'd rather watch Rocket Robin Hood. Yes, dude. Totally. I remember Rocket Robin Hood. My God, that was an awesome cartoon.
I loved it. Yes.
Oh, it was so good, man. So it concludes when Robin finds herself fighting for her home and her family against local property developer John Prince and the sheriff of New Nottingham. Robin and her band, The Hood, decide to fight back, righting the wrongs of the corrupt elite to give back to the people who are living under their regime. Oh, and let me guess, I bet you this John Prince is a white guy, and I bet you the sheriff of New Nottingham is too. I bet anybody like $1,000 that's what it is. Because
that would be
obviously,
a safe
right?
bet. And how much more he's going to be blonde and blue-eyed?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
right?
that representation.
It's gonna have to be. Okay. So in a subservient press release announcing the show going into production, Global TV affirmed the show would be an 8-episode, 1-hour complimentary reimagining of the Robin Hood legend. They added that the show follows fearless heroine Robyn Loxley, like, and an anti-authoritarian masked hip-hop band, The Hood, as they call out injustices and fight for freedom and the equality in the city of New Nottingham. Not only was Robin Hood being changed from a male to female, but he was also getting replaced with Pennyworth actress Justine Romero playing Robyn Loxley. So this is our Sheriff of Nottingham, Kira Guglione. I don't know, but look at this. Oh, gee, she's Ginger. Ginger, bad white woman. Oh boy. Well, I'll give it this. She looks pretty mean. She looks pretty angry. She looks like a very angry Scottish woman.
She actually has those cheekbones and that almost German look. I hate to say it, but it's
yeah. I'll go with that. And hey, Gap, blah blah blah. Gap After Dark. There we go. I can say it now. So nice to see you, bro. Yeah. This. Oh boy, they're. Yeah.
Yep.
She's giving me this Gestapo vibe here. So
look how they masked my boy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
By
You
the way,
forgot to vote in the chamber. So
we'll be starting Saving Star Trek after this show. It looks like. What are you going to do, Mike? 5?
Probably, yeah. And then.
All right, cool. So, hey, by the way, everybody's pre-invited to come with me over to my place, and we're going to be sending out some passes soon.
Yes. So,
well, guys, don't do things once.
Robin Hood is not the only character getting race replaced. No, of course not. Little John is being portrayed by Nakeem Provo, Friar Tuck, or just Tuck, because why would you have to bring any kind of
shouldn't he be the Reverend
or
Tuck?
anything like that? An eccentric hacker in this version is being played by Jonathan Langdon. Maid Marian also got race replaced treatment. The character is called Marian Fitzwater.
Wait, can I just say quickly? If this is supposed to be done in some sort of gangster fashion, you ready? Shouldn't her name be Maid Marian, Made?
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Maid Marian. We're writing a better comic book right now than they are, by the way, people.
Yeah, exactly. It's being portrayed by Sydney Kune? I don't know how to pronounce some of these names. The character is also described as a determined lawyer. Oh, I see. Okay. The Sheriff of Nottingham is getting gender swapped with Kira, whatever that last name is that I'm not going to attempt to pronounce yet again. Taking on the role, interestingly, Prince John, or John Prince in the show, is described as a wealthy and villainous real estate tycoon. Oh, there we go. Who called that? Who on this panel called that? There we go. Slumlord is still a white man depicted by Ian Matthews. Oh, there we go.
Spot this stuff coming a mile away.
No, oh my God, dude, you so called it. You so 100%
seriously.
called it. There we go. So,
you can spot it a mile away. How about that?
So there we go. It's basically all people of color against evil white people, and a ginger on top of that.
Can we get any more divisive?
Oh,
please, no more division. We don't need this.
We can put on the View. We can put on the View.
Hey, how's it going?
How about something that would bring people together?
Jeez.
Free booze.
Louise.
I think what we need is an all-American drink fest where we all get together in a central part of the country like Idaho, and we all drink beer for about a week. What do you think?
Yep. Oh,
the elves do it in Tolkien. The Wood Elves do it in Tolkien.
Yep.
The entire country of Germany does it for an entire month. I think it's called like Septemberfest.
Yeah. Oktoberfest. I want to get at this point.
All right, well, you can wait till October, but I'm starting in like 4 or 5 days. I don't give a fuck.
There we go. We'll start early. Yeah, I want to get traffic cone hugging asphalt snickered at this point. So
I'm an American. Okay. I'm going to celebrate Septemberfest, our new national month of beer drinking.
Oh Lord! So could this get any worse? Okay, yeah. So Robin Hood. Okay, black woman. Little John, black man. Friar Tuck or just Tuck, eccentric hacker, black man. Maid Marian, gender swapped, black man, who's a lawyer on top of that. Sheriff of Nottingham, white ginger woman. For some odd reason, they just love to demonize ginger women. I don't know what is going on lately. Exactly. Yeah, apparently gingers are soulless. So
my dad had red hair. Fuck you.
Real estate tycoon John Prince, who of course is a rich white man. Sorry about that. So there you go.
We go. Is there any other kind of white man? I sit here in an ivory tower, and hold on a minute. Johnson, could you please bring me my marijuana and my marijuana rolling supplies and some cocaine? Anyway, I was saying, it's so hard.
And while you're at it, can you please wipe my ass? So.
And I was just today. I was on a job interview, and they said, "What are your qualifications?" And I showed them my 23andMe, and they fired people who were less white than I was. So I'm set.
There we go. Killer Rabbit.
We all know it's true.
I didn't see any killer rabbits in this cast. Where's my representation? Exactly. They don't count because as per your avatar, you're a white rabbit, and therefore you have to be ignored. So I'm sorry about that, Killer Rabbit. Yeah.
Oh,
Carla Burton, remember A Different World, that black comedy that everyone loved? Yes, exactly.
Yes. It was the time of the 80s when things didn't suck and everybody got along.
One of my all-time favorites, Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we say black comedy, we mean comedy coming from black people. All right, I'll say this. It ended when Eddie Murphy started working for Disney because we lost the funniest contemporary black comedian, and there was no one to replace him until Dave Chappelle. Eddie Murphy Raw and Eddie Murphy Delirious, which are kept off TV because they're too fucking funny, are exactly what they are. They are raw. They are delirious. He did not make any claims that these things were wholesome. They were like rated R plus.
I would go back a little bit further and say Red Fox and the classic Bill Cosby.
Oh,
because seriously, Fat Albert was great.
You know,
Richard Pryor, amazing.
Richard Pryor,
Oh my God.
Stephen Ransom says the branding is the real villain here. Rich, no good, not to worry, robbing them and given to the hood. That's Robin's job. Exactly.
Well, it is sci-fi, so maybe, right? But like it's not like she's out there. Well, I guess her adversaries are the cops, aren't they, by default?
How dare you ruin my weekend with this? I'm sorry,
Alan Rickman is turning over in his grave.
I'm just reporting the news. I'm sorry.
I've got other news.
This is why I do what I do, because you know what? There are tons of people. There's like Geeks and Gamers and Nerdronic, and there's Doomcock, and there's Drunk 3PO. And you know what? Here's the thing, folks. Here's the thing. Because they all, and I'm not poo-pooing on any of them. I'm not. Honest to God, I'm not. But, most of them only focus on, like, what's going on with Disney or what's going on with Warner Brothers or, like the big things, right? And nobody touches on, like, a lot of the smaller other things that are going on right now. But these are stories that everybody misses. And then a show comes out. It's like, you see the title of the show. It's like, this looks interesting. And then you find out that it's just complete garbage. So, and in one sense of the whole thing, I want to help you guys avoid watching some of these crappy shows, probably even, suggesting some real good shows, which we have on from time to time and stuff like that. Right?
I bring this question to you, though, if I may.
Okay. Yes, you may.
When these companies want to what? Make money, right?
Excuses. Yes, they do.
When are they going to realize that all this is going to lose the money? When? Like, I don't get it.
When I think
I
when they
don't
go into
know.
bankruptcy.
Yeah, like Warner Brothers
Yes.
Did you hear what Warner Brothers is doing? They're actually re-releasing Zack Snyder's versions of his films on 4K because they need that money because they're losing
Yep.
so much. And
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
That
they do.
makes sense. That product already exists. Why not re-release it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Stephen Ransom again.
don't know
Arcane
what-
did it better. 60 black characters and masks. Yeah, they did.
Can I just say
They did.
here's the problem with Zack Snyder.
I'll bet
His
they fly on
movies are-
skateboards.
His
Probably.
movies are so unbelievably long, Zack Snyder.
Yeah, they are.
That
They
when
are.
it gets time that after he releases his director's cut, there's nothing really left. He throws the kitchen sink in there. There's a lot of stuff in there. Just how long is BVS theatric and how long is his BVS director's cut? It's like
I
an
don't
hour
know.
longer, right? And
Yeah,
an hour
yeah.
of
And
not
most
a
of it's
lot.
slow motion.
It's very
action
beautiful
shots.
looking most of the time, but he also makes some really glaring mistakes. Like Metropolis and Gotham don't look any different, and these are
No.
two cities with like
I will agree. with that, yeah.
And by the way, these cities have 60 and 90 years on film, of architectural history, if not more. We first
Yeah.
see Gotham in 1948. We first see Metropolis about the same time. I believe that's almost 70 years ago now, 67 years ago, something close to that.
Mhm.
That's a really long time as far as cinematic history. And in BVS, we don't know if Batman drives from Gotham to Metropolis, but damn it, shouldn't we? Shouldn't it be obvious?
Yeah, no.
Obvious.
Yeah.
Stephen
Mhm.
Ransom. At this point, Mod Squad should be considered right wing. Yeah.
Oh goodness, yep.
Mod Squad was a
Gab
great
After Dark.
show. R.I.P.
It was a good show.
Julie. R.I.P. Julie.
Gab-
What was her name? Carol Lipton? Peggy Lipton.
I believe so.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Peggy Lipton from Twin Peaks as well.
Gab After Dark. Yeah, it's time to put all these producers and writers in the rollerball ring. A new film by me. There we go. I can go with that. I'm fine
That's a
with
better
that.
story than Last Jedi, right off its face.
Yeah, the classic
But-
rollerball. Yeah, back
But
in the day.
but this is the thing, right? It's using this warped, perverted trope that black people steal and just taking, and white capitalists are just bad. And this is not every. Oh my god! Like I'm trying to articulate my thought because this idea is just so stupid. It's bad enough that they just took the comic and just totally race swapped it, right? Because like I mentioned earlier,
Well, it's not just
it's
a comic, right?
It's
well,
promoting
yeah, exactly.
cliches.
They're just
it's
folklore.
yes, exactly. Thank you.
It's promoting
Bob. It's-
cliches.
Oh, and the
It
fact
is.
that they're a rap band too. It's like,
Yeah,
Yep.
a hip hop band, right? Yeah, we the
They're
hood.
just gonna
yo.
go.
We just
They're
gonna
just gonna
go
go
skip
over,
this
like-
white man because he keeping us down.
I mean, the greatest
This is gonna
rap
go
band
over,
ever was
like-
Wu-Tang, but I digress. But
They are great.
like
Great.
Fat
I
Boys.
prefer Public Enemy, but you know what?
oh,
Honestly,
that's oh
this
yeah,
is-
yeah.
this is gonna go down like that Urban Thor that they thought was so fucking clever.
Oh, that
Yeah.
one. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went
Or
over like
how
a
about
lead balloon.
Or how about like Spider-Man and his all trans teen support group, where one of the characters was called like Misery Girl, and her power was to make you see and feel her misery.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that-
Super
that's what you
trans.
fucking
Oh, my
want, you know what I mean?
God.
That's what you fuck. And they quickly said this didn't happen. Burn and forget about that comic book.
Oh yeah. Oh, it did happen.
That comic book
So-
is in the Spider-Man Burn After Reading series.
Yep. Stephen Ransom, are you not entertained? No,
Not
no, I'm
yet.
not. Not yet. Exactly.
Ooh,
I'll be
really?
entertained when this show gets canceled after the
Uh.
first episode, if not the first two.
No,
So,
I'll be entertained
uh,
when I go pick up a good book or pull a
Yeah.
good TV series off my movie shelf. Plop
Gab
that
After
in
Dark,
my,
I think we should bring that car wash, but this time have a bunch of white female ginger preferred with big boobs and watching everything. My God.
In a world where
That's an
Jessica
idea.
Chastain works at a car wash.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
With,
At the car wash. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
That already is a film. Don't ask me how I know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Isn't Bill Cosby in Car Wash? Is he going to be today's thread?
Oh God.
He's going to wend his way through the show, isn't he?
Maybe. I don't know. I really
they took
don't
Dr.
know.
Cosby's name off the plaque in front of the building.
If it wasn't for the fact that I was rain out of Jello Pudding Pop, then I wouldn't have to root for anybody else because then I would have just sat with my mouth full of just wiggling Jello Pops all the time. It just wouldn't be just fantastic.
Makes you wonder what was in
So-
those pudding pops. Anyway.
And now back to the Cosby mysteries.
Exactly.
The part I feel
okay,
bad is for these actors because they're going to get typecast. A lot of them aren't going to have careers after that because you're putting yourselves in those roles too.
I know.
know,
Olivia,
right?
what was it?
So-
Emily Blunt who said just that. She, like when she sees strong female characters, she tosses the script and looks for another one.
Are we getting close
Yeah.
to a commercial break? I'm
I
sensing
think
something
we are.
coming.
So
Oh goodness!
yes, we are. Okay, so
Let's
we'll just take
see
a
what
brief
is in
commercial
store
break.
for us.
Who have recently purchased Omega Mart lemons. Some customers have confused Omega Mart lemons with lemons. For that, we're sorry. Please return this product to Omega Mart immediately. Or for assistance, please call the number on your screen. For your safety, this product has been removed from our shelves and will be carefully disposed of. Omega Mart thanks you for your continued trust.
There we go.
I'm going to say this now, if I may.
What?
If anybody hasn't watched Found Footage Festival, watch those guys. They have a lot of stuff like that. They're amazing. They're actually out in New York themselves. Amazing group of guys. There's Nick and Joe, and VCR Party Live is their YouTube channel. They tour, and yeah, they do stuff a lot like that with comedy value. It's amazing. Found Footage Festival.
Wow.
There we go.
That was awesome.
Okay, so on to something completely, and now for something completely different. Because again, we don't touch on a lot of other things that are going on, and so this right here, Embracer Group announces Magic the Gathering's race-swapped Lord of the Rings character set helped grow entertainment and services segment by 70%.
What?
So
I
Yes.
don't believe that. I think there's a decimal point that is missing there.
yeah, I think so. So the Embracer Group, the company that recently purchased Middle-earth Enterprises, which, as you know, is Lord of the Rings, and currently owns the rights to Lord of the Rings franchise, recently touted that the franchise power, claiming that much of its growth in its entertainment and services division was due to Lord of the Rings. The company specifically highlighted Magic the Gathering's Lord of the Rings Tales from Middle-earth card set as one of the primary drivers of sales. But what they ended up doing was essentially race-swapping pretty much almost every character of Lord of the Rings from white to African American and other genders as well. So as you can see right here, so Aragorn is a black dude, and I'm thinking, what?
Yeah,
This is-
I've
this
seen
has
this coming.
gotten-
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
this
glad
has gotten-
Elric has never been put into film yet. Elric is an amazing series that never made to films or series, and I'm almost glad now.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm glad that it won't be adapted anytime soon.
God. Yeah, so this has made other people quite, well, how should I put it? Quite upset. So back in June, Embracer Group revealed that they purchased Middle-earth Enterprises for steal. Oh, I imagine they did. And most of the significant acquisitions of these acquisitions is the acquisition, that's a lot of acquisitions, of the Middle-earth Enterprises which owns a vast intellectual property catalog and worldwide rights to motion pictures, video games, board games, merchandising, theme parks, and stage productions relating to the iconic fantasy literary works The Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, as well as matching rights in other Middle-earth related literary works authorized by the Tolkien estate and HarperCollins, which have yet to be explored. Oh boy, what can this possibly mean? So they then shared the consideration of the Middle-earth Enterprises acquisition sums up to $4,265 million, where, you know what, it's just a lot of money. Basically, that converts to around $398.8 million. So the rights, the estimates at the time to protect the rights were worth up to $2 billion. So apparently they're gonna whatever. This is just a bunch of bullcrap, because what they're gonna end up doing, people, is essentially taking all these PC console games, Magic the Gathering games and stuff like that, because they've already started doing it with, like, you know, Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. They're essentially gonna, you know, want to race swap characters, gender swap characters, and stuff like that to appeal to a broader audience.
Some other games, video games, which I've played, are amazing. I mean, what? Like,
yeah,
I don't understand. I mean, this is the extent of their creativity. They can't come up with anything original on their own. They take what's been established and alter it to fit current sensibilities, which means race and or gender swapping and representation. I mean, this note is getting old. I mean, they're playing this note and it's getting old. It's going to crash and burn eventually.
Yep.
And then when it does, they're just going to blame everybody else but themselves.
That's right. It's you, the fans, that are the problem.
You're
How
racist,
dare
you fans. Oh, stop.
Yes.
Exactly.
I'm
You're the
all
ones
for
that
a
have the
character.
problem.
If you have an amazing game with people of color of anything, and if it plays good and it's an original story, please give it to me. I'll play it. If it's good, yes.
Yeah. Yep. Let's go and remake some stuff, okay? Shall we? Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's do that. I'm sorry, Gap. I'm so sorry you're bent on hell ruining my weekend. You already ruined my weekend.
Oh, goodness.
I'm sorry. So essentially, I'm just going to skip some things here. So back in June, the company announced mass layoffs. Oh, I can't imagine why. And a restructuring of the company's interim chief operations officer, Matthew Karch, stated, "I've been with the company for many years and have seen a vast ways in which I think we can improve that I consider to be low-hanging fruit. I'm excited to get these plans implemented and to show some really rapid and visible results. And for that purpose, we're initiating multiple actions that are going to strengthen our cash flow generation and that will leverage our portfolio of IP, which I consider to be some of the best in the world to create a stronger company."
I bring this to you.
Unlike the illegal pyramid scam, I give you the rhombus.
Yeah. In other words, we're broke and we're having a fire sale, everyone.
That's right. Everything must go. Jeez. Isn't that kind of like what they did with the Starliner cruise, the Star Wars Starliner cruise?
And we
hotel.
have some nice NFT art for you to buy.
that they were forced to shut down because nobody, first of all, wanted to pay like over $6,000 for like a 2 or 3 day stay. Plus, on top of that, watch Rey and Kylo Ren battle it out. Like, nobody wants to see that shit.
Like, we got
No.
Middle Earth, Shadow of War, amazing game.
The
Yeah.
aesthetic decision to not be able to see the sun or have a window in your room at the Galactic Hotel.
Yeah. Stephen Ransom, didn't Jack Sparrow say something about leverage? Yes, I believe he did. And I'm trying to remember the quote, as it were, but I can't right now. Oh boy, Gap. Yeah, I got an NFT on my ass, and it's really hot. I'm selling for about $10,000.
I don't know. You get enough of them going, you can probably pay off somebody's student loans or something.
Oh yeah, how slim is that ass, Gap? It's mighty inviting ass you got there. So, oh god. So yeah. So this is what they think is going to work, right? So later, during a Q&A portion of the press conference, Karch was asked about potential growth opportunities he saw for the company. He answered, with some more centralization, and I'm obviously not implying that we are moving from one model to another, but we're going to incorporate elements of consolation and centralization into certain aspects of our business. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. So these are the watchwords that you got to look for. So we're going to have a much better picture of the teams that are coming available. And we're going to have much better data to support product selection and to create product which is going to ultimately achieve better results than some of our past products have. And so I have a high degree of confidence that this entire process is going to easily translate into a better product selection that is going to be more profitable and give us a better opportunity for growth in the future. Right.
In other words, when we fire enough people, we can downsize to a smaller corporate office and then springboard from there and give you stuff you really want, or what you think you really want.
The stuff that we're telling you that you want.
Yes, and you'll love it.
That's right. Exactly. Killer Rabbit. Yeah, I swear all these companies hate us nerds and we're going out of their way to destroy our stuff. Yep. They do, man.
They hate us.
This is the whole
Here's what we're trying to say.
Here's what we're trying to
say. We lost all your money.
Yep.
We lost all your money, but if you give us a little more money, we can get most of all of it back. Just give us more money.
That's right.
For a hamburger today, I'll gladly pay you Thursday.
Let me get right on top of that next week. So, but this is the whole thing. They hate you. And I know that might sound like a strong word, but it doesn't matter if it's like Wizards of the Coast that they're putting out Magic the Gathering that now has Lord of the Rings tied into it. It doesn't matter if it's television companies or movie companies or comic book companies or video game companies or anything like that. My God, it's all permeated in all of this now, and it's all because they hate you. They hate
This is one reason I respect Henry Cavill, because he respects the fan base. That's why he left The Witcher, because you're not doing that.
Could he have not?
His famous quote:
"One good Superman movie. If only he'd been in even one."
Yeah, his famous quote that fans were not toxic; they're passionate.
Yes, I read that. I said
yes.
Yep.
The thing is,
I like when Frost went after Henry Cavill and thought she was going to win that confrontation.
Oh,
he didn't say a word, and she lost.
Yep. Because the thing is, they aren't. I shouldn't use the word pandering, but they're not marketing this for you, the average Joe out there. It doesn't matter if.
And you're making it difficult for people who want to be moderate because you're not taking a live and let live approach about this. You're preaching to people here.
Yes, they hate you as a white person. They hate you if you're a family person. They hate you if you're a straight person. They hate you if you're a woman. They hate you if you're a straight guy. They hate you if you're like even say moderately gay or something like that. They want you to be all in on this whole super mega ultra uber prefix super
breathe. Your
left
head's about to explode.
agenda. Yes, but
Easy
that's
there.
what it is,
Yeah.
right? If you
No,
don't,
it's this mindset. It's
Yes.
the mindset we've seen played out over what the past 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
It's gone from franchise to franchise. It's killed Doctor Who. Doctor Who is a dead franchise because of this mindset. Then
oh my
it
god,
went
yeah,
to
it's
Star
like that with
Trek.
Doctor Who. Oh, jeez, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then it went to Star Trek, and Star Trek's dying. Then it went to
Hey,
Star
hey,
Wars.
hey. When Star Trek died, it was really good for me, all right? I won't have you saying anything bad about bad Star Trek. No, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I had to just make that joke.
No.
No,
No,
Fred.
it's Doctor Who, it's Star Trek, it's Star Wars. Now it's shall we just start taking bets what the next franchise will be that will die? I mean,
Marvel,
what is
really
left
the new phase
out?
of Marvel.
Yeah,
Marvel's
DC.
dying. DC,
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
yes, DC.
Dead
Oh,
Company.
now Image is basically slowly following suit, and that started
Well,
like
Image,
a little
Valiant,
yeah,
Valiant
little
Comics is
30
long
years
dead.
ago, for the love of
Our
God. Yeah.
friend Stephen Ransom said something once on Saving Star Trek that was really good. He was like just doing word games while we were analyzing the show with the word Picard, like Star Trek Picard.
Yeah.
And he came
Mhm.
up. He came up with an anagram that was Dracula IP.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it was just like, it's not just a zombie. It's vampiric in a way, because like it goes and it destroys and like enslaves another like IP. Like in
Yeah.
Star Trek, they started it, and I hate what Star Trek's become. But
Yeah.
Mike, you've been there with me, and
Yep.
we can extract some fun from this like New Orleans funeral that we're having for Star Trek, because people still have a deep regard for the original Star Trek. They can't undo it. They spend all their time trying to undo it without trying to tell anything new. Last
That's right.
season in Strange New Worlds, they went to 2 planets. One planet was a Star Trek worthy concept with poor execution, but it was actually an okay concept. The meteorite that made people dumb. That almost made it, because they had the tinfoil hat analogy, and it was like, is this episode actually going to make it to like bad but acceptable? And it fell short, but it almost got there. But most of it, like, that was one planet. The only other planet we went to in 10 grueling fucking hours was our planet now, was Earth in 2023. So literally, Strange New Worlds went to the only old familiar planet known to humans. So the name of the show is a lie. It's a Dracula IP. And I think what we have to do is we have to band together to destroy the head vampire of this, J.J. Abrams, and discredit his work. Not him as a person. J.J. is fine. Leave JJ alone. The writing styles and the way that JJ Abrams has spawned off these writers who believe that the presence of a mystery is enough. Every week on crime shows, we see mystery boxes used correctly, where they have a whodunit, where they solve it, right? In these mystery box stories, they create a mystery. They don't know what the fucking end game is. We saw it in Lost. They couldn't explain the mystery in anything. The fact that Riva was alive is considered a payoff in itself because there's a mystery around it. That is not storytelling. That's not storytelling. Columbo was a whodunit. It was a mystery box. At the end, William Shatner or Dick Van Dyke had killed that person, and that was the end of it. This far and no farther.
Yep, that's right. Killer Rabbit, there's a few IPs like Buck Rogers or Flash Gordons that they can revive to destroy. God, I hope not.
I was just looking at my movie shelf.
Flash
franchises. There's like
Flash is close to eminent domain, like 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
Maybe
What was that, Pop?
10.
I was just looking at my movie shelf, trying to think of what is left. There's not much
Captain
left.
Proton.
There's Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, Battlestar Galactica, Space 1999, smaller franchises. They're not big like the big
Space
dogs.
1999. I dare anybody rewatch it. It's honestly only okay.
Well, the
Sorry
first
about that,
season was
guys.
pretty good. The second season, I've never been able to get into, but that's pretty much the same for Buck
Because
Rogers.
of production problems, they couldn't get back the same cast, and everyone dies off screen. And you're like, how many people are on this moon base?
Yeah.
Well, also it
And they
was the
don't
complete change in
address
tone.
it.
It was a complete
Well, yeah,
change
because
in
now the
tone.
moon is wandering around like the Enterprise, going from one strange. They went to more Strange New Worlds in that show than they do in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's
But that's Buck Rogers season 2 as well. He's on a starship looking for like lost humans who fled the war. That's like season 2 of Buck Rogers. He's on a Star Trek like mission because that show only just so much made it.
True. Yeah. They better not touch Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, or Space 1999. No.
And Battlestar Galactica is the only other sci-fi friend. There's if you go way back, there's stuff like UFO or Sapphire and Steel or the British TV show called The Avengers.
Yep.
I don't want any of those touched.
No,
they did the Avengers. There was an Avengers with Uma Thurman, Ralph Fiennes.
Oh, that's right.
That was a movie.
And
that
Sean
was a movie.
Connery, but it was the same. The same characters.
And same like the Saint. I mean, that was with Roger Moore back in the 60s, and they redid it as a movie with Val Kilmer. That wasn't too bad. But I mean, God, even if they revived that, oh my God, they would just butcher it. They'd probably just gender and race swap it on top of that.
Mike, you
speaking
forgot
of
to
Henry
say the
Cavill,
great before you said Val Kilmer.
Yes.
Speaking of Henry Cavill, there was the Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie that he was in, which I'm probably in a minority. I found myself enjoying Henry Cavill's Man from U.N.C.L.E. I actually wanted to see more of that.
I didn't mind it.
Steve Carell gets smart as well.
I even liked the soundtrack to Man from U.N.C.L.E. I mean, that was a good movie.
It was. Let's see. He then touched on getting back to this. He then touched on Lord of the Rings. And that helps to leverage the IP that we own within our organization. I mean, we own Lord of the Rings. We know we need to be exploring Lord of the Rings in a very significant fashion and turning it into one of the biggest gaming franchises in the world. Well, they were kind of already doing that.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't touch it. And that obviously something that we're going to be doing. That's a much better use of resources than some of the other projects that some of our teams have been working on. Working together, we have those opportunities, and we are super excited to put that to work relatively quickly, he concluded. So, so here we go. Yeah, even this Gandalf, I'm assuming that this is Gandalf. Gandalf he's either really dirty or he's just more tanned. I don't know. Is he looking Latino or something to me?
I think he's looking a mite darker.
A little bit. Yeah. But, I don't know. See,
well,
and then
Gandalf can...
Glorfindel turned him black.
Is the character... This is the character who was left out of the Lord of the Rings, and Liv Tyler's character took his place. He's one of the most controversial characters in all of Tolkien, Glorfindel, because he's replicated, so to speak. Glorfindel 1 dies in the fall of Gondolin, fighting a Balrog so that the female and children elves can escape. He dies doing this, and for this reason, the Valar send him back the way they send back Gandalf, but it's earlier, much earlier. And what happens is his editors said to him, you use this name twice. And he's like, fuck. So after he went to church, or whatever, because Tolkien was really religious and thought it over, probably said the rosary and stuff, calmed down, got his head together. he decided that he came up with the whole resurrection thing on the spot to explain Glorfindel before he ever gets up to the point in the story where he writes Gandalf's resurrection, because I think he famously wrote the story in chronological order from each character's point of view, and that's why the book took so many years, with so much editing.
Yeah.
Like he would write
Aragorn,
up to
then-
October from everyone's point of view and stop. Right. And then he would start again at the next period, the interval of time he would cover. And like, even though it's not edited that way, that was his process. So he didn't necessarily know he was going to do this, but Glorfindel is brought back. It's Glorfindel 2 is actually Glorfindel 1 resurrected and sent back by the Valar with the Blue Wizards, Gandalf and Saruman.
Yeah.
He's down with Círdan and a shipwright, yo.
Aragon again, replaced him. Yeah, just race swapped him. Yeah. So, and of course, yeah. So it's all this whole gender swapping of the freaking whole series of Magic the Gatherings, Lord of the Rings series. It's just, oh yes, that's right. And what they did with, with some of the elves, some of the wizards too. Yeah, just totally replace their traditional European whiteness with black people. You know, it's just,
well,
it just knows no
let's
end.
be fair. Spanish people are European.
Yeah, they are. You know,
I don't know what to make of Gandalf too much, right? Because Gandalf's the wandering wizard. Like maybe he would look weathered, but yeah, I don't know. Trending in a weird direction. You know what? Might be time for everyone to make this decision. Tolkien, wrote books, and his stories are best read as books, and nothing can ever equal, let alone come close. Never equal. This is the only kind of drug I recommend. The pure mind heroin that is the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It is absolutely one of the most fantastic stories ever told. The beginning of the first book is 85% backstory. His publisher was upset. And you know what he said to them? You can have my book or no book at all. And they're like, fuck, all right, we'll take it your way. And he's like, I need another year. Fuck you, fuck off. And
so, you know what?
Need to remember something. He wasn't just an author. He had a real job. He was a professor. So he didn't care about deadlines. Go ahead, Mike.
So you know what? For Gap, I'm going to end this show on a positive note because he's been through enough torture. So, this coming out. Now, I don't listen to a lot of heavy metal or anything like that, but Alice Cooper calls so-called transgender ideology aimed at children wrong. Says they're confusing kids. There you go. Good old Alice Cooper. So it's funny that it takes somebody like this, like a guy like Alice Cooper, to just come out. So Alice Cooper recently called the current promotion of transgender ideology wrong and says that it's intentionally confusing children, and noted how to embrace the ideology will lead to dire consequences. There you go. Right on, dude. Okay. Yep. So Cooper recently spoke with Stereo Gum's Rachel Brodsky, who questioned the musician and performer about his past comments about sexuality and gender that gave him the spec back in 1974, as well as what he thought of recent comments made by Paul Stanley and Dee Snider regarding transgender ideology. Who wants to know? I think everybody wants to know. In 1974, Cooper made it very clear he was straight telling the outlet, "Oh, I'm straight. I'm attracted only to members of the opposite sex, girls, that is," right? And that's 74, right? And you know, that's the time that it was. That's fine. You know, hey, nothing wrong with that for saying that you're straight and you're attracted to women. It's okay. You know, no poo-poo about that. So, but when pressed on his name about the amount of makeup he wore, Cooper responded, "Well, I have a girl's name, but that's kind of a goof. A lot of men who wear makeup, that's a theatrical tradition, has nothing to do with sexuality, and I do not attempt to look like a girl. In case you haven't noticed, I'm not a transvestite. I don't intimidate women.
More of a carnival clown.
Yeah.
Like,
did you ever see a woman who looks the way I do?
Clown.
If one did, she'd be called a weirdo.
Yeah, this is questions more better addressed to the members of KISS, actually, at this point, 1974.
Yeah. So later in the interview in 1974, Cooper was questioned about his fans wanting to believe he was gay. He responded, "Yes, I know they do. Isn't that curious? They'll read this interview and they'll say, 'Bull, we know he's queer. Nothing I could do or say, nothing I could say or do could convince him that I'm not.' As for why he believed that, he said, 'I figure it probably makes these kids feel far out to think that they can dig a performer who's supposedly gay. I think that's groovy of them.' It's like, okay, fine. You know what? If you want to believe it, okay, fine. That's in your wheelhouse. If you want to believe it, fine. But he's obviously coming out and saying that, well, he's not, right? And that's fine. You know, hey, if that's your prerogative, then fine. You know what? Okay, but I'm just going to tell you straight from the horse's mouth about me. This is me, right?
You know what? It was like Alice Cooper seized a lot of attention doing something we'd seen from KISS and the New York Dolls. And turns out, he wasn't, after he breaks up with his band, it's kind of just him out there. And he's a little hard pressed. And, this kind of Frankenfooter sort of rock and roll act was in vogue for a long time. And I would say you could look at someone like, do you remember Buster Poindexter?
Yes,
remember
I do.
Feeling hot. Do you know who Buster Poindexter actually is?
I know he's familiar. He's so familiar to me because every time I see the cab driver in Scrooged,
right,
I think of Buster Poindexter.
And he's also the cab driver in Free Jack. But I digest. No, Buster Poindexter is better known to us because he doesn't do Buster anymore. It was a 2 or 3 year thing because of the stigma of the cross-dressing stuff that he did during this Frankenfooter sort of stage of rock and roll. It's actually none other than David Johansen, lead singer of the New York Dolls, who has hits as David Johansen as well, and was one of the best Eric Burdon imitators of all time too, and a really good rock and roller. But the thing was, he had so much trouble with that because of the David Johansen image and everything that went with it and sort of like the gender fluidity, that he was doing more as a goof, like Alice Cooper was doing. He had to go away for a while and come back as Buster Poindexter, not say who he was for a real long time. And that was a completely different character and a completely different approach. He showed he was a true vaudevillian type performer who could write appropriate music for a totally different character. It was appropriate for 1989. Buster Poindexter actually works and made him a good deal of money. And then he went back to being David Johansen, and you won't hear Buster music at a David Johansen concert. But if he goes broke, there'll be a Buster Poindexter tour.
And Hail Space Monkey. I'm with him, but kind of ironic eyeliner dude says it. Yeah.
Carla Burton, a lot of people don't talk about.
Carla Burton. Carlos Santana came out against trans stuff too. Yeah, he did.
Very true.
Yep.
A lot of people don't talk about Alice Cooper is that he's a born again Christian as well.
Yes.
So I do. Going by memory, I want to say his dad was a preacher, so he kind of rebelled from that background. Did all the stuff, the whole shock rock performance image, and then he made his way back to God and became a born again Christian. So that and him cleaning up his alcoholism probably changed him quite a bit as well.
That explains the song "No More Mr. Nice Guy" now, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So you got to remember in context, he's talking back in 1974, right? So he would later claim that he would choose his sexuality.
This interview is literally 50 years old. It's from a half century ago.
Exactly. He would
Richard Nixon is president.
He would later claim that if he could choose his sexuality, he would be bisexual. You mean I do mostly like girls, but I like boys sometimes. No, I only
No,
like
maybe
girls.
he
But if I
means-
have to choose my own sexuality, I think I might have to choose to be bisexual. Cooper
I thought he
added,
meant he would buy sex.
yeah, well, probably that too. Cooper added, I think in the future, everyone will be bisexual and everything would be so much simpler then. You'd just make love to anyone you liked and it wouldn't matter what sex they were. And maybe it wouldn't matter what color they were or what age or anything except that you liked them. Yeah, see, now again, this is back
He
in
was on
1974, so
Quaaludes.
you got to be watching or what age bit, right?
He was on Quaaludes. He
Yeah,
was on
because
Quaaludes.
exactly,
This
because at
this
this
is back
point,
50 years ago when he was into a lot of drugs and
Right.
alcohol.
That sounded completely crazy and only barely related to the question.
Yeah. So when asked why
The
he
women
was concerning
714s packed a
age,
punch.
so when asked why he was concerning age and race to sexuality, Cooper explained, well, I actually prefer the concept of pansexuality rather than bisexuality. The prefix pan means that you're open to all kinds of sexual experiences with all kinds of people. It means an end to restrictions. It means you could relate sexually to any human being, and it means and to end unreal limits. I like that idea. Now, again, you got to remember this is back in 1974. So, and because we're short on time, I'm just going to fast forward a little bit, I think here. Yeah, okay. So, as for the comments made by Dee Snyder and Paul Stanley, Stanley shared his thoughts on the transgender ideology that is infecting the minds of Americans to Twitter, writing, there is a big difference between teaching acceptance and normalizing and even encouraging participation in a lifestyle that confuses young children into questioning their sexual identification as though some sort of game, and then their parents in some cases allow it. He continued, there are individuals who are adults that may decide reassignment is their needed choice, but turning this into a game or parents normalizing it as some sort of natural alternative, or believing that because the little boy likes to play or likes to plays up in his sister's clothes or a girl's in her brother's, we should lead them steps further down a path that's far from innocence of what they're doing. Because like we mentioned on Tuesday, it's just basically they're playing pretend and that's it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Don't tell them they're one thing when they're actually not. They're just playing make-believe. With many children, he goes on, who have no real sense of sexuality or sexual experiences, caught up in the fun of using pronouns and saying what they identify as. Some adults mistakenly confuse teaching acceptance with normalizing and encouraging a situation that has been a struggle for those truly affected and have turned it into a sad, dangerous fad, he concluded. And okay,
It's not a show till Admiral Teague kicks himself. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, that's okay. And yeah, and he's completely 100% right on that. So, you know, there's a big contrast between what he thought back in 1974 when, you know, he was part of some pretty dark things back then. You know, and like Pop mentioned, and this is what I also know as well. I mean, his dad was a preacher and whatnot. And, you know, when he really got into the rock game, as it were, he did also, on top of that, dabble with witchcraft. And that's how he said he also got a name, by consulting with spirits. And that's how he got the name Alice Cooper. And yes, so this was his thoughts back in 1974. And yes, he did give his life back to God. And well, this is his thoughts going on right now. So, and he's right. This turns it into a very dangerous ideology, and he's coming out and speaking out against it.
Just my 2 cents, if I may throw in here and stuff.
Yes, you may.
I say follow. There's a girl, Chloe. She's 19 now. Chloe Cole. She's bringing it to light. The realization that detransitioning is at a record high. because there's so many young kids that were forced into this that don't want to, and they're now detransitioning. And actually, Jordan Peterson interviewed her, and he said, "Did the psychologist ask you this or that?" She's like, "No, I just went in because she was confused. She played sports and she liked girls. She thought maybe I'm a boy." But no, she was just a lesbian who liked sports. You know, she was butch. Now and then, but she went in and told her, and they're like, "Oh, you're trans." No.
Yeah, exactly.
Jordan Peterson talked to her and said, "No, you have to ask questions." They never asked me any of those questions. But anyway, I can break that down more. Yeah.
Stephen Ransom, without passing judgment, he was progressive. This is what pisses me off. We were already talking about it. Now us white dudes are crucified for our intolerance. Yep. It's true, dude. Justice for Alice. There you go. So, Carla Burton, he was counterculture 50 years ago, and he's still counterculture being a faithful Christian. Exactly,
that's
right?
Crazy. Yeah.
I know, right? It's like the complete opposite.
Marilyn Manson tried to be like him, but he was good, but it's just his way different person. Yeah, he was like the modern version, but
never could get into Marilyn. Would not look at any.
It was dark.
Like, that's too dark.
Yeah, it was pretty damn dark. Snyder reacted to Stanley's post writing. You know what? There was a time where I felt pretty good too. Glad my parents didn't jump to any rash conclusions. Well said, Paul Stanley. There you go. There you go. So Stanley would later clarify his comments, writing, "While my thoughts were clear, my words clearly were not. Most importantly, and above all else, I support those struggling with their sexual identity while enduring constant hostility." Yeah, Paul Stanley.
Of Kiss.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made that. He made his initial comment about it, and then the band caught some flack, so he kind of had to do a little backtracking.
Yeah,
I don't think he gives much of a shit. So he's probably just missed. Honestly, I think Paul Stanley probably just misspoke. I think we should trust whatever he's trying to say here in his apology. Let's see where he goes with it, though.
Yeah, I suppose I support those struggling with their sexual identity while enduring constant hostility, and those whose paths leads them to reassignment surgery. It's hard to fathom the kind of conviction that one must feel to take those steps. A paragraph or two will remain far too short to fully convey my thoughts or points of view, so I will leave that for another time or place. Yeah.
Well played, Paul Stanley. People trying to blame you. You did a pretty good job. You know where he's from? Queens?
Yes. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And he's a good Jewish boy on top of that.
I believe he went to the same high school that we see in Spider-Man 1, but it's not like that high school. The school that we see has been like juxtaposed in front of like a subway that's not an elevated subway that's not actually there. But that is, I think it's Horace Harding High School.
Ah, there we go. Let's see. So on Facebook, Snyder further explained his position after he was accused of transphobia.
Oh, wait, I apologize. Wait, I just quit. It's William Bryant High School. Sorry.
Okay. I recently stated I do not believe young children are ready to decide their gender allocation.
No, exactly.
I believe their choices should be supported and accepted by their parents, but I do not think kids have the mental capabilities to make rational, logical decisions on things of a magnitude that will affect them for the rest of their lives. I do not believe they are mentally developed enough.
No.
There you go.
No, they're
well
not.
said.
Kids.
They're not.
Jeez, you can't buy cigarettes. You can't get a tattoo. Yeah, this is safe ground. Radical D. Snyder, who is from Baldwin, Long Island, and used to watch my friend when they lived in the same street down in he grew up and probably went to the same high school and probably graduated a few years before the guys from Public Enemy. And think about how talented everyone from that high school is, because it also had Taylor Dane.
Wow.
Public Enemy, Taylor Dane, and some of Twisted Sister all go to the same high school, but Dee Snider, educated guy, owns several businesses. He has been making money in the fitness industry since the 80s. He owns a couple of gyms here on Long Island.
Really?
Yeah, no, entrepreneurial guy. Well, if you've ever watched anything he's done, when he's not being funny, he's rather well spoken. Watch his testimony before Congress. He's a lot
Yes, I've
more
watched
eloquent
that.
than most
Amazing.
people.
Ah,
I don't.
That was
no,
really
listen,
good.
Don't take this as an endorsement or a condemnation or advice. I'm just a Star Trek pundit. He went to a really good school called Hofstra. He's a very well educated guy. I believe he took public relations because he wanted a career. And
Right.
rock and roll only worked out just so much. Now, for a lot of people, what he makes off rock and roll would be all they did. But he took it a step further. He made a capitalistic investment in fitness clubs. He himself got into fitness. And one of the things you would hear from Dee Snider, and I saw Twisted Sister because I'm from the area before they were big. And Dee Snider would be like, "Have a good time, but don't do too many drugs." It was almost like Nancy Reagan, and then he would rock out. He'd be like, "Be careful, watch out for yourselves." Like, kind of like gave a shit about his fans and put on a pretty good show. So I mean,
Nice.
Dee Snider, well spoken, and Hofstra should be proud.
There we
Oh
go.
yeah, huge Dee Snider fan.
Yeah.
As you said, very intelligent, and he stood up for the rights of music at the time in the '80s and stuff. And yeah,
He understood the Constitution quite well and went toe to
Yes.
toe with the congressman because his
Yeah.
his degree was in public speaking and small business management, which is what he ends up doing with his life. But I think the one degree taught him research your public speaking very well because he was ahead of some of those politicians. He
Yeah, you
could have
could tell
run
he caught a
if
lot
he
of
wanted to run
politicians
for
off guard.
office. If Dee Snider wanted to run for office for either party on Long Island, he would likely win. And no matter which party he was in, he would probably be endorsed by the guys from Public Enemy.
Wow.
nice.
So Cooper shared his thoughts saying, I understand that there are cases of transgender, but I'm afraid that it's also a fad. And I'm afraid that there are a lot of people claiming to be this just because they want to be that. I find it wrong that when you've got a 6-year-old who has no idea, he just wants to play, and you're confusing him by telling him, yeah, you're a boy, but you could be a girl if you want to be, he declared. Cooper continued, I think that's so confusing to a kid. It's even confusing to a teenager. You're still trying to find your identity, and yet here's the thing going on, saying, yeah, but you can be anything you want. You can be a cat if you want to be. I mean, if you identify as a tree, and I'm going, come on, what are we in? A Kurt Von Gutt movie? That's so absurd. And it's gone now to the point of absurdity. No, he's right. He's right. I mean, what was it that we talked about like a few years ago? There was like a school kid that identified as a fox. And I think like in England, there was like one kid that identified as a cat, and they had to have a litter box like put in their classroom. Like really? Really? Like, it's bad enough that teenagers, like, when they start to become teenagers, have to go through puberty and all these changes, even chemically speaking, right? It's a roller
I live
coaster.
every day in fear of that. Yeah,
There you
I
go.
live in fear of the day that happens to me.
But to also, like, further make them go down a rabbit hole that they really don't need to go down by saying, oh, well, you got these kind of feelings? Oh, well, then it's more than likely because you're this. And that's just not true. So
My
when the
two
rock,
cents.
That's why I really think this sort of strange mixing of things and needs to kind of put child and adult topics on this sort of co-equal level is very, very nonsensical. It's very objectionable. It's a high risk way to turn a profit. I mean, look back just 10 years ago at the Chronicles of Narnia movie that were made for primarily for children, but mostly the whole family. All right, Aslan's a little cringe, but there was an innocence and to those movies that we could never have it anymore. We have to do weird shit like this.
Stephen Ransom, where does this leave the children's song? I'm a
Yeah.
teapot. Exactly.
You know
right?
my opinions on a lot of this, and I'm just going to say this now: is children,
Oh, yeah.
of course, we need to leave them alone. The kids, like you said, they don't even know what cookie they
Yes.
want the next day, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's actually actual trans people, like I don't know if you can follow them, Buck Angel, Blair White. They're against it too. They're like, first, I can break it down even more, but they're like, no, leave the children alone. Straight
Yeah.
up, that's the best. Just stop
That
it.
and
Yeah.
in some instances, I have to ask, or I find myself wondering, where are the parents?
Mm.
Parents
Oh, yeah.
across the board need to
Some of the
stand
ones
up.
just forcing it.
Yeah.
My thought here is, do we have people intentionally overplaying their hand by doing something so audaciously outrageous that while we stand around absolutely mind blown that they would suggest it, they pull off something else? Like, are they meat shielding behind these vulnerable people? Are they
Oh,
using
yeah.
them to advance? You know what I mean? Like, is this like the loud boom in
Mhm.
the other direction to set us up for something else? Because it's
More than
conspicuous and
likely.
sustained. It's conspicuous and it's sustained, and it's very strange.
Because
Gender
I think
dysphoria.
what it's
Sorry, go ahead. Just gender dysphoria is a rare condition, and that's the actual condition that real trans people have suffered with.
Here
But
comes the
nowadays,
subway train, Carla.
they're disregarding it completely, and it's like, no, that's the main concern, and it's a rare. Now you get families, our whole family's trans. That's bullshit.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
it's going
glad
to
in
come
my
ultimately to a certain point in our culture. And you know what? Call me a complete and utter nutcase, but I think it's going to get to such a certain degree of insanity, okay, where that people that totally speak out against stuff like this are going to be so persecuted to the point where people that even express a degree of rational thought will probably be killed. And I
was
know that
stalked
sounds
for saying that I
extremely
hated Obi-Wan
extreme,
over that.
but
No,
I
I've already
think
been
it's
stalked
going to
over
get
the
to a
issue.
certain degree of that kind of insanity where you're
Yeah,
just
I
trying to
think it
talk some
is.
sense, where it's
I've
like,
alre-
like it'll be like Stalin's Russia. Oh, how dare you think that? Off to the gulag with you,
Yeah,
never to be seen again.
Yeah, you're guilty of wrongthink. Therefore, you can't be part of society, and we will have to
Yes.
make you go away to a place where you can think about things
Yep.
and get your mind right. And then you can rejoin everybody else in cultured society.
Exactly.
Actually, they're kind of
Unfortunately,
doing
the
that
world.
in China now with some of the Muslims in China in camps. But
Yes.
anyway, I
Yes.
digress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fortunately
So,
enough for us in
the
America,
rocker- So the rocker then questioned where this disastrous thinking and the rules surrounding it is coming from. He says, the whole woke thing, nobody can answer this question. Maybe you can. Who's making the rules? Is there some building in New York where people sit down every day and say, okay, we can't say mother now. We can say, we have to say birthing person. Get that right out on the wire right now. Who's this
I want to
person
hear
that's
that.
making these
I want to hear
rules?
that.
I
I want
don't
to hear
get
that at the
it.
concert. Yeah. I want to
Yeah.
hear that at the
I'm not
the
being
Bon
old
Jovi
school
show.
about it. I'm being logical about it. But you know what? That's exactly right. This is what everybody's going on. Like, who is saying that we have to? And this is the exact same question that I've been having. Okay, who is making up this stuff that now we have to say this kind of stuff?
Vanguard,
Who
Klaus
is it?
Schwab.
Like a
Wait, I'm going to be shot.
yeah? Is it like a conglomerate of people? Like I'm so serious. Like all of a sudden, a bunch of these people that come out on these stupid, retarded TikTok videos or on Twitter or wherever. It's like, oh well, you should say this now. You should say that now.
Yeah.
Who
I mean,
who are you, the arbiter of the English language, to say that these are the rules of grammar now and that you have to go by it? What freaking
Yeah.
God-gifted
ask-
scholar are you? What kind of Shakespearean avatar blessing that you've gotten from the heavens above that have blessed you with the linguistic fortitude of all the scribes of the ages to say that this is the words that we're going to be using right now and you have to comply?
Don't read on neo pronouns. Your head will explode. It's the
Right.
funniest, dumbest thing ever.
Now, if you
Oh,
start asking
God.
the question, who is steering society? Who is steering the culture? That's going to be a very deep rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, and a dangerous
It
one.
is. It is. It
Yep.
is.
And that's going to
100%.
lead you off to conspiracy land, unfortunately.
Dude, we're already there, and all of
Oh,
them have come
yes.
true pretty much so far. They're turning the
Yeah.
frogs gay. No, all the damn frogs, they're all gay now.
Oh, goodness.
Which
Ribbit,
actually,
ribbit.
that has actually come true as well, which is the weird thing about that. Say what you will
Yes.
about Alex Jones, but he actually got that right. I'm sorry to say that, but he actually did. Okay. Anyway,
I've actually
so-
met him a couple of times way
Have you
back
really?
in the mid 90s, early 90s when he was first
Oh,
starting
yeah?
out
Oh,
promoting
man.
his movies and such.
God, he is. Oh man, he is.
Oh, he's out there.
personality, I'll tell you that. Oh yeah, but you know what? The weird thing is, most of the stuff he says has actually come to pass. That's the weird thing, you know.
It's
Anyway.
weird and scary.
It is okay. So Cooper then shared. It's getting to the point now where it's laughable. If anybody was trying to make a point on this thing, they turned it into a huge comedy. I don't know one person that agrees with the woke thing. I don't know one person.
No.
Everybody I talk to says, isn't it stupid? And I'm going, well, I respect people and who they are, but I'm not going to tell a 7-year-old boy to go put on a dress and maybe you're a girl. And he's going to go, no, I'm not. I'm a boy. And that's true, right? And then he said it. So I say, let somebody at least become sexually aware of who they are before they start thinking about if they're a boy or a girl. A lot of times I look at it this way, the logical way. If you have these genitals, you're a boy. If you have those genitals, you're a girl. There's a difference between I am a male who is a female or I'm a female that's a male. And wanting to be a female, you were yeah, did I read that right? Yeah, and wanting to be a female, you were born a male. So that's a fact. You have these things right here. Now the difference is you want to be a female? Okay. That's something you can do later on if you want to. But if you're not born a male, born a female, he concluded. But you're not a male born a female, he concluded. So, Brodsky then asserted, I don't think parents are encouraging doubt in their kids' identities. I would just hope that they listen to their kids and find pediatricians that provide appropriate care. To which Cooper replied, well, I can see somebody taking really taking advantage of this, though. A guy can walk into a woman's bathroom and say anytime, I just feel like a woman today, and have the time of their life in there. But that's not in the least bit. He's just taking advantage of the situation. Well, that's going to happen. Somebody's going to get raped, and the guy's going to say, well, I felt like a girl that day, and then I felt like a guy. So where do you draw the line? Somebody's going to raise its ugly head, and all of a sudden people are going to start going, wait a minute. We've got this under control, he concluded. Yeah. And
did you catch the part where you spoke in 2 song titles in a row? You said,
no, I didn't.
I could have the time of my life because I'm always a woman. Check the audio.
Yeah.
It was like, and you'll have the time of your life because you're always a woman today, or it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Because I started laughing pretty hard. It was unintentionally, honestly, quite funny. Not to undermine your point, but I had to share that with our friends out there, guys. That was funny to me.
Yeah,
it was. Have the time of your life. As I'm hearing one song, he says the name of the other. It's like you can't hear the title of that. It's like. He's like, you could have the time of your life. It's like, doon, because you're always a woman to me. It's like, whoa, like musical brain whiplash.
Oh man, I'm
Oh, shut the fuck
everyone.
up now.
It's all in me. My God. No, I'm not going to sing a Whitney Houston song.
She can lie
oh,
like a child.
my God.
Oh goodness.
Oh, jeez. So, you know what? Okay, so we're trying to end off on a little bit of a positive note, especially for Gap After Dark, because, at least to let everybody know, hey, there's still some sanity going on in the world. And hey, John Kippola, how's it going, dude? Nice to see you here. So sorry if I missed you earlier in the chat. So so as we bring this as we land this plane, as it were, fog your brains, why don't you go ahead and plug what you want to plug there, dude.
Oh, plugging. What am I plugging? Holes, lots of holes. No, we're gonna plug the channel, and we're growing it more and more. Like I said, I'm gonna be shopping it to other channels. I'm actually just about to head out. If it doesn't rain, it's looking cloudy. I'm gonna film my TikToks, which I use just as advertising for the channel, and that's about it right now. I'm just working on getting the calendar out by September. So, for the photography side.
Cool.
Awesome. Oh yeah, that's right. Because I gotta pretty soon flip the page on your calendar here that I got in my office
From last year's.
So, yes. So, Admiral Teague, what you got for us, dude? Your patent show was pretty good yesterday. I love patent.
Oh, I
Good
want
movie.
to thank Gamers. You know what? Gamer 1745 came with everything. Like, I thought I knew stuff about World War II. Like, maybe on an operational level, I could hold my own, but he was like naming makes and models of tanks and like shooting down my like. I was like, so that's a World War II tank at least, right? I was like, no, that's a 1948 checkmate. Like, he knows everything. It's like that flak gun's real though. He added amazing context. Patton is free on YouTube this month. So if you want to like enjoy that movie in another way, I guess let's face it, after 53 years, a lot of us have seen it. We have a really wide-ranging conversation about it, and I even indulged some fan theories about the movie, such as the concept that Patton may have been bipolar, and the belief that he's dyslexic, and a lot of other interesting stuff. It was a fun time. It was, very interesting, and it synced up to the movie with some time codes, but we never pause it. So if you step off when we step off, you'll be synced the whole time. The movie's free on YouTube. Join us. And in just about a half hour after we finish up here, the pass is already in the private chat. Guys, join me. We're going to have Potato Raven by. He's going to be doing some stuff on cults. So I think that maybe we'll hang out, chill for a while, see who comes by, and maybe we'll enjoy the Star Trek episode, The Way to Eden, which is about a cult.
Nice.
Yeah, Ben
Oh, that's
Stiller
right. And I
says
don't
it's
say
his
this
favorite
often.
episode.
And I don't say this often enough. Please, everybody, if you can hit the like button and subscribe as well, I would really appreciate it. And Pop,
Increase
what do you
the
got going
bandwidth
on?
of my
All
allies.
right.
Because I'm really bad at
Culture
supporting myself
Republic.
that way.
Oh yeah. Oh, I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. Sci-fi, fantasy, novels, comic books, movies, TV shows. I've been spending a lot of time on K-dramas. Will probably continue K-dramas for a while until I find something else that I can delve into. I'll probably start back up doing some comic book streams or some comic book related videos for content. Yeah.
Nice.
I do pretty well doing a live stream a week. Sometimes if I can swing it schedule wise, I might be doing 2 live streams on my channel a week.
Nice.
Ooh.
I caught a few minutes of the
Nice.
K-pop drama thing. I was doing other stuff and lurking, but I made sure to hit the like. Even if
thank
you don't
you.
have time to listen to his whole fantastic show, please increase Pop Culture Republic's reach there by increasing his bandwidth, by liking his stream, and give it a few minutes. I learned a few things in the few minutes I had about K-pop, K-dramas, and
That's good.
I can't say it won't be. Well, I'm now a pop culture reviewer. Star Trek is dead, and I think that Star Wars is about to commit
Yes.
a kamikaze run on its own reputation here. This Ahsoka
Maybe.
show is looking very, very. Look, maybe the show's okay, but like the look of it is really challenging to my immersion. It doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Ah. Oh, and you know what? I just want to mention that on Rumble, I want to say hi also to Al Nickerson. That's
Hell,
the
all
Rumble chat
Rumblers
as well. Yeah, so
Cool.
hail Al Nickerson. Al Nickerson, he used to work for, if you watched any of my previous videos that I put on, Al Nickerson worked for DC Comics, and he has a line of independent comics that he's selling right now as well. So check him out on Twitter and I believe on Facebook as well. Well, DC has not been paying him his royalties that is owed to him. So, please check him out on Twitter and on Facebook. He's selling his own line of comic books as well. Really nice guy, really, really awesome guy. Great to talk to and whatnot. So, please check him out. I don't have the link on me, but he should be extremely easy to find on X and on Facebook. So thanks, Al Nickerson, for joining in. I had to actually refresh this to actually see that there were people in the live chat and on Twitter, or not on Twitter, on Rumble. My God, I'm getting everything mixed up today. That's why it's called the
Rumble is
Frantic Friday.
not the best interface.
I know. They need to really
Rumble
improve
is
that.
it's just not the best interface with the audience, and it's unfortunate that you need an account. But I have a Rumble account, and no one's come looking for me, guys. You can comment once you have one, and honestly, the Rumble emojis are better. Like the default 20 emojis are great. They have like the deal with the dog and the guy. Yeah, like the Rumble logo, like a flag of freedom and all that stuff. It's fun.
Exactly,
It's fun.
it is fun.
There's nothing wrong with being entertained on Rumble, And again, we're going to step off Saving Star Trek in about 29 minutes. Everybody here at this show has an invite to it. And
cool.
hopefully we'll be watching an episode. I hope you guys will join me. And I'm going to send out some passes to some other people, too. Getting close to a significant anniversary.
So I'm going to thank everybody that was here. So first of all, we'll start with Rumble. So we're going to say hi to Al Nickerson. Thank you for joining on Rumble. I really, really appreciate it, bud. And I want to thank Killer Rabbit from Space that joined into the chat, and along with Carla Burton and James Caserta. I'm sorry you didn't get the email, James, because I sent him a link to join into the chat, but I guess he didn't get the email, which is too bad. Otherwise would have had him on the show as well. So, and we had and then we had 32 flavors of Nick Weiser dropping on in. So Nick, thanks for dropping by. Really, really appreciate it, dude. I don't know if you're still in the chat, but great to have you here as well. So you're huge. We just I gotta get back on your show again at some point, especially when you're doing a comic book Friday. But unfortunately, I'm working, and we had Canadian Spider-Man that dropped on by as well. And, of course, Gap After Dark, who I ruined his weekend as well, but hopefully made up with it with that last story. And Das Wolfman was here on top of that. And, of course, our lovely Stephen Ransom, so which everybody enjoys when he pops on by as well. And I'm trying to see if I missed anybody else, because I don't want to leave anybody else, because I try to be a gracious host that way to everybody in the chat. And I'm just rambling right now as I'm scrolling, because this takes up time and it's the only thing I know how to do right now. So and I think I pretty much got everybody that showed up today. And if I didn't, I'm a terrible human being and I need to be caned. And I think I did get everybody. So great. I'm in the clear. So
I think you got everybody.
I think I did. So guys, thank you for joining in on a Frantic Friday. I know this was kind of like pretty short notice, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. Plus on top of that, Foggy showed me a video to which he actually did a little bit more research on and found out that something was false. And because it was a weird TikTok video about everybody at Disney having to wear pins and put their pronouns on. But then again, he found out
it was
that
a big
it
rumor.
was like, it was a big rumor. So it's from everybody here in the on the panel to everybody here in the chat. Thank you very much for dropping on by on a Frantic Friday. I will try to make this a regular thing, because I got to get the hours up on top of that, and marching towards. Well, I'm over the 750 hump and just trying to march towards 1,000. And
that's cool.
And I'm trying to do the Lord's work, as it were. Trying to spread
I
the good
generously
news out
cede
there.
40 minutes of my airtime to my good friend, the Comic Relief Crusader.
That's right. You sacrificed
I will
enough
not
time.
overstream you.
So
I will
you.
be
Oh,
here.
that's right. And I forgot about Space
Oh,
Monkey
I
that
still
dropped
have-
into the chat as well. So
Yeah, no,
Space
I
Monkey,
kicked
I'm
it.
glad that you just chatted in the rest of time and just got out there to mention you as well. So because I don't want to be having poo thrown at me from a Space Monkey on top of that.
Yeah,
So-
when you're on, I'll kick it to when you're on. I'll go on at 5:30 so that everyone has a chance to
There we
clean out their brains after we're done and get it back together before I blow your minds again with some amazing Star Trek.
So,
We're gonna
from
save it,
everybody
baby.
here on the panel to everybody in the chat, thank you for jumping on by. I'll try to have another Frantic Friday for next week, and stay tuned for Delighting Tuesdays, as it were. And I'm sorry that I didn't have a video out yesterday, but I couldn't really think of any good news. But at least you guys are here, and that's all that matters. So, from everybody here on the panel to everybody out in the chat as well as on Rumble as well, thank you for joining in, and we will see you on Tuesday. So,
This
see ya.
concludes this presentation
Later, all.
of the Federation of Planets.